you? Good to see you
Good.
both. How are things?
Good. Good. Thank you.
Excellent. This movie was adorable. It's like haunts with heart, right? Who
Hmm.
doesn't want to see this? I mean, it's a fabulous film for families, and it really has such a great message. So, Sophie, let's start with you because Ellie, she's like Casper the Friendly Ghost in a female form, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she's very naive and has such a pure heart.
She really does. How do you find your inner ghost? What was the most fun about playing this fantastic character?
I mean, I think it was just very liberating for me. I'm used to tapping into very heavy emotions coming from a more horror or dramatic background.
Yeah.
So for me, I was really enticed by the idea of coming on set and doing something that was joyful and just fun and having the liberty to try a bunch of different things
Yeah.
and explore with the director that was on set.
Yeah, fun. And then Caroline, for you, I love Martha. Oh my God. She's like,
Me
I just
too.
want to give her a big cuddly hug, huh?
You fall in love with her really quickly because she falls in love with people immediately as well. When she sees Ellie, she takes her under her wing right away and
Yeah.
offers her tea, and she just wants her to be happy and comfortable. And she's hairy and big, and she's like the perfect friend.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I was going to say that, like, no judgment, because here's this ghost coming to this team of monsters who've been together for a while. Like, do they really want an outsider? But she has like opens her heart so big, and I wanted to know how you kind of reacted or related in a way to her. Are you open to bringing new people in and just not second guessing them at all?
I think I am, but some people adopt right away someone and then get to know them. I think I'm somewhere in between the two. I take my time more than Martha does. Um, but yeah, it was a lot of fun to do. I think Canadian animated films
Mm,
for don't come along for an actor that often,
yeah.
and it's a co-production with Germany, I think, if you
Yes.
Davis. But yeah, it was very fun and free and very different from what I usually do. I'm not usually cast for this type of character,
Yeah.
and so I had a blast. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure. Sophie, I want to talk to you a little bit about doing voiceover work because it is such a different muscle than being in front of the camera. Sometimes it's a little bit more relaxing. You don't have to get dressed up and makeup and all that kind of stuff. But then I think that it might be a little harder because yeah, you're working on your own. You really have to use that your stretch of your imagination. And Ellie had so many, inflections like woo and woo and all these things that she had to do. So, how much freedom are you given behind that microphone to explore a character like this?
I mean, you're very spot on. I did come on set probably with my PJs every day, but it is somewhat isolating and a different concept because I don't really get to react off of anything or anyone. And so I'm a bit more isolated and have to, being on set on like a film set is a very creative, collaborative process where, um, the scene gets it becomes magical when everyone puts a
Mhm.
bit of their own in it. And this is the same, but we're all doing it like we never even saw each other. Um,
Yeah.
and so it's definitely up a little bit more to my own imagination, but um I think what's fun is there are no limits or constraints, and um, you get a bit more freedom to be able to emphasize scenes or make things bigger. I think we're told as actors to obviously always keep it as natural and realistic as possible, but that's the joy of animation. Like there are no limits, and you can't, like you said earlier, you can't go too big with the character. So
Mhm.
that was really fun and yes, exhausting at times because I
Yeah.
think the movie is extremely physical. We have a lot of chase scenes or in like a roller coaster or there's a lot of action going on. And so we had to be very physical behind the microphone because I don't think it's something that you can mimic simply with your voice. You have to give it that heaviness, that breath.
Sure.
And those intonations. And so, yeah, I think we were both really tired when we got back home every night.
Yeah, I was
Definitely.
going to say, Caroline, tell me a little bit about your experience too, because she is so She's just so big, and not just physically. I mean, she's just such a big character, right?
I would go back home at night completely spent because yeah, as you said, she's big and she's loud and so doing that for many hours, and you're always on when you're alone behind the
Sure.
mic. And it's the work is very quick and spontaneous. You have to make choices in the moment, and you don't do 30 takes of every line. You do
Mhm.
1, 2, 3, 4, and if you're good, you on to the next. So it's yeah, your concentration is it's vivid and yeah, when you go back home after screaming in that roller coaster for hours, it's whew, yeah, you need a little siesta.
Need a little siesta, absolutely. What I love there's such great messages in this film for families, for kids, and Sophie, like just about also sometimes your family isn't your blood family. Sometimes it's the people that you become friends with or whatever. And I think about the two of you because you work so much and you're on so many different sets and you make so many different shows and movies and things that each time that you go on a set, isn't it kind of like that where you become a new family? I mean, with Yellow Jackets, I mean, come on, right?
I mean, yeah, you're exactly right. I think the concept as family is not necessarily limited to blood ties, and I think family to me is finding a sense of community, whether that's like on a film set. And these women that I shoot with on Yellow Jackets definitely have become my family in a way. And friendships that I've made. I think of Courtney Eaton, who plays Lottie on our show. She's become my best friend and is someone that will be in my life forever and that I consider almost being a sister to me. And I think that's a key message of the film is that family is not necessarily who you were who was forced upon you, but rather it's
Yeah.
who you choose to be your family, the people in your life that are important to you and that you cherish and that will have your back and vice versa. And I think there's no right or wrong family. It's what you make of it, and that's all that matters.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. And Carolyn, I'm just wondering, once you start doing the voice and then you get to see some of the animation and you hear your voice coming out of this character, does it still kind of freak you out?
Um, well, I've seen it because once we're done with the scene, we listen to it and all that. So I got used to Martha, but it's seeing it all comes together because we
Right.
haven't seen each other in our separate parts. And when you see everyone come together and what the other actors did with their
Mhm.
voices and their character, and that's the really fun part.
Yeah. How about for you, Sophie? It still must be mind-boggling. Like you see the finished product and your sweet voice is coming out of this, yeah,
Yeah.
this Ellie, right?
Yeah, it's very strange. I saw it with my dad came to the premiere and he like looked at me and he was like, "Does it feel weird?" I was like, "Yeah, a little." Um, yeah, because it was somewhat my first time doing animation, so the concept is still a little bit foreign to me, but you get used to it pretty quickly. I think that like on the contrary, because it's just your voice, I think that like watching a movie that I'm in or a TV show, it takes me a while because I have more to analyze and I'm
Mhm.
picking at every reaction that I'm doing and um as opposed to and it'll take me a few viewings before like fully being able to see it from an outside perspective as opposed to this. I feel like a minute in, I'm like, okay, I'm like over the voice now, and now I'm just being able to watch the movie like
For what it is.
yeah for what it is in the same way that the audience would.
Yeah, yeah, it's just so much fun. Like I said, it's just a perfect family film. It's coming out at the perfect time, March break kind of thing, and it's just great. So before I let you guys go, I just want to talk, Carolyn, start with you. Oh Canada, saw it at TIFF this past year. Um, what was it like for you to work with Paul Schrader?
You know what? I haven't even seen it yet. So you saw it before I did.
Okay, I won't
Uh,
give anything away.
yeah, it was only a couple days,
Yeah,
and I have to say I had a very small part in that movie, so it was a humbling experience to just kind of be there and do my thing. But I had never played a Québécois in an Anglophone movie
yes,
before. I had
yes.
never had the opportunity to use or to add even a Québécois accent to my accent when I'm speaking English. Anyway, so it was It was fun to do, yeah. And to be working with Richard Gere and Uma Thurman was just,
Yeah,
it's you
yeah.
watch work and it's just I felt like a little fly on the wall just watching them do their thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, it's fun. It's fun. And Sophie, of course, I'm deeply invested in Yellow Jackets. I'm watching along with the audience because they won't send me screeners, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've just finished episode 3. I'm not giving away anything for people who haven't caught up yet, but holy mackerel, what Shauna is going through. It is freaking intense, my dear. Like, what's to get back in the woods and be so pent up, so angry. What she's going through is just, oh my God, I want to give you a big hug. Seriously.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, I think we're trying to top every season with even more horror, more fun, more craziness. And I think that's definitely what the audience can expect from this season. I think what's fun about this one is a lot of questions that they've been asking from the beginning are finally answered. And Shauna is seen in a complete different light this season. I think she goes from being very sad and has all of this trauma and conveys all of those emotions into anger and resentment, and it makes
Yeah.
her even scarier.
Yeah, it's great. It's so much fun to watch, and you especially, you're so good. Well, you both are fantastic. I love your work, for everything you've given us. Thank you for this lovely family film. It's just so sweet. I loved it, and just have a great rest of your day. Thanks for your time today.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay,
Bye.
bye, 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 bye.